friends. Welcome to the first episode of Women in STEM. Today, I have with me one of my closest friends and a math whiz, Cristina from Mexico. Hello, Cristina.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Would you like to tell the audiences a bit more about yourself?
Sure. My name is Cristina. I'm a math major at the National Autonomous University of Mexico. I really like math, obviously. I really like CS, and I really like biology as well. And I met Hoimo in 2016 when we went to Stanford University Math Camp.
Yeah, that was our first meeting, and we also met at European Girls Mathematical Olympiad 2017 in Switzerland, right? And Stanford University Math Camp again that summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So starting off the interview and or the conversation, our audience would really like to know how did you first fall in love with math? Like, what was your motivation?
Okay. So I always liked math ever since I was young, but I think I really fell in love with it when I was in sixth grade. I got myself a book. It was called Mathematics and the Imagination, and it had a lot of really interesting math topics, and they were definitely too hard for me to understand fully when I was in sixth grade. But there was this one quote in the introduction, and it said something like, "An immortal man condemned to life in prison could devise in his cell all of algebra and all of geometry." And I think that really showed me like the power of mathematics. Like you can take the basics and you can get more knowledge from those basics. You don't need anyone else. You don't need anything. You just need like your mind, and you have all the freedom you want to get all these amazing things.
Yeah, I think I agree with that because one of the main reasons I was attracted to math was because you literally could build it from scratch. You didn't
Yeah,
need anything. Like
yeah.
you
You
needed
didn't
nothing to
need
explore it.
anything.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular anecdotes about how you fell in love with math?
Yes, actually, there are a lot of stories over a long period of time, and I gradually fell in love with math. But I think my favorite one that I like to tell people is this small story, I guess. When I was younger, like 5 years old ish, right? So I used to go to school by carpool. So all these students would get into a car and go to school, and I used to be very like not social, and I did not talk to anyone. So I had devised this game for myself where I used to look outside the window and saw the other cars, and I used to like read the license plates, so the numbers and the letters. For the letters, I used to like convert them to numbers somewhat similar to Caesar cipher, right? So A would be 1, B would be 2, and Z would be 26. And so I now have this set of digits, right, from the license plate, from the letters and the numbers. And I used to add all of them till I got down to one digit. So it's like digit summing them. And in my head, I had a few numbers as lucky numbers, and the rest were unlucky numbers, and the digits, I mean, lucky and unlucky digits. And if I saw more cars that had license plates summing to lucky digits, I used to tell myself that my day in school would be really good. Otherwise, my day would be really bad. So I think with time, the prejudice definitely faded, but that experience taught me a lot of math. Like I realized that adding multiples of 9 did not change the digit sum. So I was discovering modular arithmetic without even knowing the name. And that was really exciting. I mean, later on when I discovered it, I was like, oh, I know this. And that would be like really awesome, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely feel like, yeah, like you said, you can build math from scratch, and I think that makes it not only very powerful but also very beautiful and
Yes.
very personal to each of us, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, this is making me nostalgic actually. Going off on the next question, like how did you actually make the switch from math as a hobby to more professional math? Like Olympiad math for high school. So.
So I actually started Olympiad math by accident, I guess. So one day I went to school and they had us all do this test. It was a multiple choice test, and it was like a math test. But the questions, most of them didn't even have any numbers. So I sold that test, and I thought all the problems were super interesting. And then they had me take another test, and then another test. And later I learned that those tests were for the state math Olympiad. So after those first few tests, they invited me to take classes. And so I found myself taking 12 hours of math classes a week for fun. And it introduced me to this whole other set of mathematics from what I knew from school. And just how much of like the creative aspect of mathematics and how you could take your basics, and you can do so many things with them. And being able to use what I knew to solve problems that seemed so difficult was definitely one of the things that made me consider math as a career.
Great. How did you like? How was your journey to European Girls Math Olympiad subsequently?
It was a lot of work. So as I said, I was taking 12 hours of math classes a week. And then it took me like a year and a half of that before I got to my first national. And then after my second national, I was in the top 8 girls for the country in the national. So they invited me and those other 7 girls to go to camps. They were going to help find the teams for the international competitions that Mexico goes to. And I actually made it to the ECMO team after very long process, uh, training camps that were over a week long each. And after multiple tests, they got the 4 of us who were going to go. And I went there.
Yeah, nice.
And how was your journey to the ECMO?
Oh, I think the process was pretty similar. Like I appeared for a regional math Olympiad when I was in eighth grade. Then made it to the nationals. And from then we had actually got common training camps for the International Math Olympiad and European Girls Math Olympiad. And then they select the teams after some tests and the camps. And then you go and represent your country. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was pretty similar.
Yeah. It was rigorous but really exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you usually don't think that math is something you can represent your country in. And
Yes,
there.
I know, right? I was so surprised when I found that out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, to let the viewers know, Cristina is actually now on the other side of things in the Olympiad scenario. She's from being a student, she's now teaching future Olympiad aspirants mathematics and preparing them for Olympiads. So, what would your advice be to people who are now preparing to be the next generation of Olympiad participants? Or is there anything else that you could have done differently and you would tell the students that now?
So I definitely think, okay, so there's this idea in math that you're either born a genius or you're not good.
Yes.
And I feel like that's very wrong. And I wish I could go back and tell myself that just because it seemed that other people were smarter than me didn't mean that I couldn't be as good as them someday. Like how much more important it is to work hard and try your best than it is to think that you're a genius. And so, for example, no one thinks that someone gets to the Olympic Games on talent alone. They work really hard.
Yes.
And I think that's the most important thing, to work hard and to not compare yourself to others. Just try to be the best version of yourself.
Yes, I definitely agree on that because I think people think of talent as something that just happens like a spark out of nowhere. And that's not true. I think talent is just hard work put in earlier. If somebody is working on something for 2 years earlier than you are, and then that person is bound to be more experienced and may come across as more talented. But it does not mean that you cannot catch up. You just need to work hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Also, for the next question, many of the viewers think that pursuing mathematics outside of classroom, it's just like doing a lot of math competitions. But
Yeah.
I think for both of us, we explored math even beyond competitions, right? We met at Stanford University Math Camp. So for people who don't know what that is, it's a 4-week long math camp that happens over the summer in Stanford University campus. And I think I can confidently say for both of us that those 2 summers were the most some of the most amazing summers we had.
Yes,
Right.
definitely. I think what I like the most about SUMAC was learning about math beyond competitions, like getting a glimpse at advanced mathematics, much more like what we would do in college. It was an amazing experience, and it definitely helped me like see a future in being a math major.
Yes, I think Sumac was much closer to my college math experience than Olympiads were.
Definitely,
Yeah.
it was
Yes.
a really amazing experience to learn so much math as a high school student. Like
Yes.
college level math in high school. I mean, it was really interesting to see so many new things that I've never even thought about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, So now that we are both in college and we are both math majors, I think we should also tell viewers that math is not no longer our primary academic interest, right? I'm
Yeah.
more into computer science now. I mean, computer science is my primary major, and Christina is more into biology. So, Christina, would you like to elaborate a bit on that?
Yeah, so I would like to pursue a career in either computational biology or mathematical biology. And what I found really interesting is that, like everyone used to think that biology doesn't require any math. Like it's a very
Yes.
qualitative science, and you're never going to use math as a biologist. And I think that's not true. From my experience learning about all the applications of math to biology, I think it's very different. There's a lot of data nowadays. We have so much data on everything. Like, for example, the human genome has billions of bases. And to understand that, we need computers. There's no way to understand such a thing just from looking at it. And to understand computers, we need mathematics. And I feel like you understand that very well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think as a computer science major, and there was much greater overlap between math and computer science, right? I mean, I had to borrow a lot of tools to actually build up on my computer science knowledge from mathematics. But more than the academic overlap, right? I think what mathematics helped me more was like think logically, like sequentially about problems, like have like approach problems from different sides and then break them down into smaller pieces, solve those problems and put them back together into a greater whole. I think all this I just like learned from my experience with mathematics, and they have been very, very helpful in my computer science education as well.
Yeah, I definitely think mathematics completely changes the way you think. And as you said, makes you think in a very logical way. And I think it also makes you very critical. Like you stop believing everything they tell you. You want to go find out exactly why it's true.
Yes, 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 it definitely made me more critical of things around me.
Yeah, and I feel like math is important not only for STEM, but for any other area. It helps you like think better and solve problems
Yes,
better. And
yes.
it's an amazing tool for life in general, even if people don't think it is.
Yes, I think we can both safely say that math definitely made us who we are, right?
Yes.
Yes, as
Definitely.
a person as well. We are almost out of time. So, is there any closing message that you would like to give our audiences, especially young aspirants for Olympiads or the young girls who want to be the next generation of mathematicians or scientists?
I would definitely say that if you like math, then you should definitely just go for it. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not good enough for it. Just go out there and learn something and see where it goes.
I echo that message. Thank you, Christina, for your amazing stories and your time. For our viewers, if you have any questions, you can please leave that as a comment in the comment section, and I'd definitely get back to you. If the question is for Christina, I'd bother her again so that she comes and replies to you, but we'll definitely reply. See you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.